The Pembroke Welsh Corgi. Stubby legs, but fast as lightning. I don't really need a reason to talk about them, just look at them. They're so cute. This breed is very old, dating as far back as 1107 AD. Back in the day, kings would flaunt their possessions to flex on their subjects and in visiting emissaries. An important factor of their display were the tapestries, carpets, and fine textiles in their kingdom. King Henry I of Britain invited the finest weavers of the era, who resided in Flanders, which is now northern Belgium, to relocate to his kingdom. The Flemish weavers agreed and brought everything they needed to continue their agrarian way of life in their new home. This included their short-legged herding dogs, which were the foundation of the Pembroke Welsh Corgi breed. It's believed that they came from northern Spitz breeds like the Schipperke and the Swedish Valhund. There is also a legend saying that the Corgis were the noble steeds of fairy warriors. And upon witnessing the funeral of such a warrior, 2 children were gifted Pembroke Welsh Corgis to serve mankind as herders. The Pembroke Welsh Corgi is closely related to another breed, the Cardigan Welsh Corgi. They were considered the same breed up until the late 1800s. There are quite a few differences between the two. The Cardigan is larger, has round ears, and a longer tail. They also come in different coat colors like brindle, merle, and black and white. The Pembroke Welsh Corgi has pointed ears, and their colors usually make them look fox-like, but they can also be black and tan or sable. They are also like Australian Shepherds by either having a naturally bobbed tail or a long tail. The long-tailed ones really look like foxes. This wouldn't be a Corgi video without talking about history's most famous Corgi owner. Queen Elizabeth II received her first Pembroke Welsh Corgi in 1933. Roosevelt Golden Eagle, who the Queen affectionately nicknamed Dookie, inspired her lifelong love of the breed, and when she turned 18, she got another dog named Susan. She bred over 14 generations of Pembroke Welsh Corgi, and their lineage can all be traced back to Susan. When I first started writing this script, I wrote a joke that said even though the Pembroke Welsh Corgi breed is currently prospering, Queen Elizabeth II would outlive the breed because she is immortal. And then the very next day, she passed away at the age of 96. She was a very incredible human being. She even worked as a mechanic and drove ambulances during World War II. And apparently she also owned every mute swan in England and Wales. She ended her Corgi line in 2015 out of fear of leaving her Corgis behind after her passing. She was, however, gifted 2 Corgi puppies in 2021, while Prince Philip was hospitalized, and apparently she has a Dachshund Corgi mix too, so it would seem she did leave her Corgis behind. Because this has been written maybe a couple of days after her passing, I can't really say anything about how the dogs have been. I'd hate to hear that they were acting like Hachiko and spending all day waiting for her return. Sure, that would say something about their loyalty, but that would also be a dog spending its life waiting for someone that isn't going back. I hope Queen Elizabeth rests peacefully and the dogs she left behind live happy, fulfilling lives. The Pembroke Welsh Corgi was meant to herd cattle, sheep, and they can also herd geese. The reason for their tiny legs is so they can quickly duck and roll to avoid the kick from a cow while they are herding. The way they herd is by getting closer to the animal and barking to drive them forward. If you watched my video on Border Collies, you would know that this isn't liked by the sheep very much, so it might be somewhat harder to herd with a Corgi unless you train them to herd differently. Though that may be difficult considering that style of herding is in their genes. They are very trainable dogs. Unless I'm mistaken, they are the 11th smartest breed, and they are also the 11th most popular breed according to AKC. Much of the breed's popularity is owed to Queen Elizabeth II, but they have quite the presence in pop culture. They were in the movie A Dog's Purpose. One named Cheddar's was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and of course, Ein from Cowboy Bebop. In real life, there are Corgi Cons. These are basically large meetups for Corgi owners and are usually held in places like beaches and other places for the dogs to have fun. One had up to 15,000 Corgis attended from all across the United States, and some even came as far as Japan. There are also Corgi races, which are about as fun as you can imagine. The stakes aren't high, and it's all good, clean fun. The Pembroke Welsh Corgi stands at 10 to 12 inches at the withers. Males weigh up to 30 pounds, and females weigh up to 28 pounds. They aren't exactly small dogs. They're more like medium-sized dogs with short legs. Despite their notoriously short legs, they are incredibly fast and can keep up with most large breed dogs. They have to be in order to be effective herders. Their life expectancy is about 12 to 13 years, but it'll probably be longer if the dog is well taken care of. This breed has a tendency to have progressive retinal atrophy, glaucoma, and some back disorders. They can also become obese easily, and that would make their back problems worse. Back problems are fairly common in long, stumpy-legged breeds. But for some reason, stumpy-legged cat breeds like the Munchkin don't really have these problems. Don't ask me why, this series isn't about cats. The Pembroke Welsh Corgi may do well in an apartment if given proper mental stimulation and exercise. Mental stimulation is especially important because this is a herding breed, and they're the perfect height for nipping ankles. So, would I consider owning a Pembroke Welsh Corgi? Yes. I would, but probably not anytime soon. I do really like smaller dogs, and this breed has everything I like in a dog plus stumpy legs. However, I do tend to prefer larger breeds because I believe they can handle themselves better in sticky situations. Take Lola, for instance. I feel confident that if an unfriendly dog or a wild animal of some sort were to come towards us while I was walking her, she would do everything she could to either scare it off, or she may go further than that. I'm not saying small dogs aren't capable of such feats. I've seen videos of miniature schnauzers chasing off bears. The fact is, it's never guaranteed how your dog would do in these situations, and a larger dog tends to have more of a visual intimidation than a smaller dog. Unless they have a tenacious spirit, they're basically toast against a larger animal. Pembroke Welsh Corgis do have a big voice, and they do make great watchdogs. They were also bred to dodge large animals on the daily, so they do have those qualities going for them. And like I said, they're a medium-sized dog with short legs, so they aren't entirely prey-sized. I may get one to satisfy my need for a small dog someday. I can't recall if I've ever actually met a Corgi before. I think I know someone on Facebook that has one, but they aren't someone I hang out with at all, so I haven't actually seen the dog in person. I do remember someone in my old neighborhood who went walking with a fluffy Corgi that had a long tail. The brief interaction of walking past them is about as close as I've ever been to a Pembroke Welsh Corgi. From what I remember, it handled itself well on the leash, and the owner was elderly, so that's a good testament to their trainability. The Pembroke Welsh Corgi is an excellent choice if you want a cute, trainable, energetic companion, whether you live on a farm or in an apartment. I'll wrap it up. Let me know if there is a dog-related topic you would like for me to talk about next. Leave a comment. I love hearing your feedback. Maybe mention your experiences with the Pembroke Welsh Corgi if you like. Have a great day and stay in school. Unless you're too old, then stay far away from schools.